Baron, you win the game.
All right, well, the draft is ready for game number 3, so let's see if maybe the Baron comes out again. It was certainly a strong pick for a large portion of it. Hammers Esports up against Gankstars, game number 3.
Yeah, well, we are going to be seeing the Lyra taken off the board immediately by Hammers, so Rek not going to get his hands on that pick at all this series.
Ah, shoot.
Very smart by Hammers to make sure that doesn't happen.
I think so. I mean, it's so strong in general, but in the right hands, it just feels like there's almost nothing you can do into it.
And Rekt is definitely the right hands for that Lyra. He's one of the top Lyra players out there in all of Vainglory. So
He's one of the guys that also, you know, some delay more than others, but he delays that fountain more than anybody.
Yeah, no, I've seen him actually pick up fountain as his 3rd item on Lyra.
Yeah.
But it's because he has the ability to keep his team alive just through the sigil alone, because he knows where to put it down, he knows when to put it down to capitalize the most on it.
All right, well, Gankstars, they've got the opportunity for their first ban that they're using a lot of bonus time on. Certainly on B side, it's not that unusual to see bonus time used on your first ban, because you have to respond to like the initiative that A side has, right? Like Hammers set things off at a certain rhythm by banning Lyra first. Yeah,
you have to think about what your opponent is going to be likely to first pick. And it also allows you to then kind of strategize for what your first pick is going to be a little as well, if you can predict what they're going to do. So we'll see. They're using a lot of the time, though. Like, this is a little more than usual for most teams.
They're like, I'm sure they were going to give us Lyra. I was so sure.
Well, they may have been not expecting the Lyra ban because they know that they would then have to ban it. The mindset is, Hammers either leaves the Lyra open so that Gankstars then have to either ban it or allow it to be first picked. So they may have been not expecting it, or we may just be restarting the draft.
Yeah, looks like maybe there was a bit of a glitch in the draft. It's all good. We're kicking it off again. Lyra banned. Gankstars theoretically should be banning pretty fast here. It's going to be the Adagio. Both yells taken off the table.
Yep, not surprising in the least. You don't want to let that Adagio go through if you are on B side. So now Hammers have plenty of options. The Lance is there, the Finn is there, the Ringo is there. It could be, we actually saw them first pick the Ringo a lot during the winter off season, but they are going to go for that Lance.
I prefer this Lance as this first pick much more, yeah.
Well, we'll see. Where is Gankstars going to go with this now? They obviously have a lot of options available to them as well. I would almost expect them to grab a laner here before they all get banned away in this next wave of bans.
So would you do grab Vox, ban Ringo?
I would say for Gankstars that, yeah, Vox would probably be the pick of choice. Irakizor does play a lot of Ringo as well, but I feel like his Vox is a little bit better.
Right. I mean, do you have to go for the laner, though? Because, I mean, ultimately, let's say you ban some jungler, right? And then 2 laners get banned, you got the next pick. So it's almost hurting Hammers more to do that.
I feel like it's smart to pick your laner here because you can then ban away the other one, and then with your 3rd pick, if they don't, like if you take the Ringo now or the Vox and they don't ban it or you don't ban it, you can actually pick the 2nd one as well. And I have seen Vox Ringo comps, and they are disgusting the amount of damage that they can do. But we'll see what they do. Opt for with.
Coming through, okay. Yeah. So the question is, do they ban out the Ringo here?
It's definitely a
pick it.
Yeah, I feel like you either ban it here, or if they want to pick up the Ringo as well as the Vox, they could opt for that. But keeping Ringo out of starting all over's hands, I think, is very important.
I feel like if you let Ringo go through, it's like, okay, we feel like starting is just going to be out of position.
And that's one of the things we were also talking about while watching the last game is that's not something you can rely on. There's no way to predict if starting all over is going to have top-notch positioning or if he's going to be in your face in melee range with a Ringo. Like, you don't know what exactly he's going to do until you're about halfway through the game.
But boy, if you did predict him out of position and he was out of position, it could really go in your favor.
Well, they're going to not allow the Ringo to go through.
That's a smart ban.
Yeah, definitely a wise decision. The Finn ban coming through for Hammers. They don't want to see wrecked on that Finn, but there's still plenty of options. I would love to see a Fortress, just because I like Fortress.
Into the Lance?
Into anything.
You like Fortress into anything?
Fortress is just so much fun to watch.
You're just a dog guy.
Pretty much,
like puppies.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, maybe Gankstars could go there. They got this pick, and then they get a chance to answer 2 from Hammers. So I feel like if you're going to pick something wackier, I think we can say Fortress is a bit wackier. You might leave that to last.
Possibly. Like I said, I just want to see the Fortress because it's just fun to watch. That's all I care about right now. Is just I want a really fun
So
out there
I guess
third game.
you're not going to go the way of the Fuji and coach after this. You're like, all right, well, it's going to be a Koshka. So Gankstars not wanting T-Tigers to get this one this time.
Yeah, it's a smart pick. It's both a ban and a pick right here, and I think Gankstars will have a lot of success with it. I mean, you have the massive burst damage coming out of the Koshka, a little bit of lockdown. You can get in and out of fight. There's so much mobility between these two the carry and the jungler here.
And we've also seen thus far Xenotech has been playing very aggressively today.
Yeah.
So the Koshka definitely fits that bill. It would actually, you know what I really want to see for a last pick from Gankstars? With this comp and the way that they've been playing, I really want to see them grab a Flicker.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
I would like that.
I think that would actually be. I think that would work really well with their play style.
Super fast team,
Exactly.
just burst damage, get on top of a target.
Not only that, but you can really put the pressure onto starting all over by putting that Flicker in the
But has Rex
lane.
been playing that Flicker?
Oh,
Didn't he talk? He talked about it a little at Worlds. I can't remember if he played a lot of it though.
Yeah. Well, Glaive's the pickup for Hammers over here.
Glaive makes a lot of sense. I mean, you probably want to have something that can compete in the early game, right?
I'm not super thrilled about the Glaive because it's going to be on T-Tigers, and it's very likely going to be that utility build again. And I just don't like T-Tigers with the utility builds,
and
unless they get really far ahead early.
On the plus side, Skedaddle starting all over. If he gets out of position, he can get right out of there.
You would hope so.
Or he can skedaddle himself into bad position, which is not beyond starting all over right now.
Let's just use this and start the fight right now. All right,
That's how you engage.
Gankstars, they got one more pick. They got 10 seconds to lock it in. What are they going to go for?
Hopefully the Flicker. I
still
want to
like it
see
here?
the Flicker.
Maybe
not some. Oh, yes!
Oh, Bacon with a prediction. Hey, buddy.
Oh, man. I had no idea if Rec played the Flicker right now. Like,
You're such a He's got DMs open with him right now.
I just don't know.
I wish I did.
Right now.
Come on.
It's like, oh, I just want to see fun stuff. Oh, I know Flicker's really good here. What's your deal, man?
I don't know. It's just, it's a fun pick. It's fun to play. It's strong in the situation, and it can really mess with starting all over in the lane. I think that may be one of the most important facets of it.
Yeah, definitely. Lane is always tough when you're up against a Flicker.
Worlds bashing?
Oh, yeah.
Good
Man,
lord.
I mean, just it definitely changes the way, the pace of a lot of these games. A lot of pressure goes up into that lane. And, you know, going back, it's just so much burst damage between the Vox and the Koshka, and that's exactly what you need when you have a Flicker.
All right, well, I'm excited to see who can take this one home, but I also want to know who you think is going to take this one home. Based on that Flicker and the predictions you were making, Bacon, I feel like you're going to say Gankstars.
I'm definitely leaning towards Gankstars for this.
Wow. I love going against him, but I'm going to go Gankstars here.
All right, so how does the Gankstars comp work holistically, though? So we know that Flicker, yeah, early pressure, right? But one thing that we were hearing back at Worlds was like, yeah, Flicker, he's really good, and then some other people were like, yeah, Flicker, he's really good, but if you don't win really hard, really early, he falls off super hard, and that doesn't work so well.
I don't necessarily think that's the case because Flicker's utility late game is unbelievable. Like, your opponent has to spend so much time and effort focusing on vision as a result. But on the flip side, the Gwen does help a lot against the Flicker late game. So that's kind of, there's a little bit of a balancing factor there. But if the side of Gankstars can control the vision, which Rect has always been very good with vision, they, late game, should be able to just completely take Hammers by surprise in certain situations, but the early game is the most important part.
I mean, the Flicker's going to fall off. It's undoubted
the damage,
that she's going to fall
absolutely.
off. I mean, all the utility, but when it comes to that ultimate, just getting a Vox and Koshka on top of a key target without that target knowing.
Especially if that target's a little too far forward.
I mean, to be honest, it's a little like a Force Accord, right? It's one of those game-changing ultimates. You might have the weaker late-game team, but if everyone is in the wrong position on the other side and you've made that happen, you've done your job and you've done it well.
Yeah. I mean, and also, like, reflexing a Yummy Catnip Frenzy when they're running at you is a little bit easier. But when it comes out of invisibility, you're like, what's going on over here? Why did I buy this item?
That's a very good point. We are loading shortly onto the Halcyon Fold. I have to admit, I I see like the ability for maybe the Lance to do a good job of stopping the flicker here, but it's all about the execution, as you might expect. Let's get this one started. It's Game 3 of Hammers versus Gankstars with Dalsy and Forecourt Jester.
Wow, here we are. Game 3 of this series to conclude. Hammers Velocity versus Gankstars series winner. Proceeds. Wow, that was a hard word. A hard word. Proceeds to day 2 of games, and a flicker for Gankstars to come in. The Gank squad going to be true. Chicken doesn't know he's been spotted, and already you see Rekt laying down the pressure. However, he's going to get traded back onto him. In fact, he loses out on that trade as well. So Chicken123 laying down a bit of hurt here. Has to be careful he doesn't get sandwiched between Rekt and Araki Zoro. But hey, Forecourt Jester, what do you make of the flicker pick?
It's very volatile. I mean, we just saw Hammers do that early game. I think Gankstars are really just saying, oh, here's how it's supposed to happen. So I really expect some big early aggression with these guys, especially level 6 with Rekt.
Oh no, Chicken's just lost his life and there's no way he escapes from this one. First blood to Xenotech, and that was just so unnecessary.
It's a really good catch comp here as well. Binding Light, you got that stealth, like you just don't see it happening, right? There you go. T-Tigers all of a sudden in some trouble.
Oh wow, the turnaround though, Xenotech's going to take a huge chunk of damage. Starting all over, didn't want to get too close to the fire.
Well, that's how it was supposed to happen. I think there was a bit of a miscommunication there.
So, yeah, you're right. Flicker, Koshka, and even Vox, so much mobility, and when you pair it with the Mooncloak at level 6, they're going to have so much ability to just catch someone out, and they're hoping it's starting all over, right?
Well, that's the thing that the analysts there at the desk were talking about. Starting over can just really spam that buckshot when he really wants to. If he even thinks, perhaps, late game, that there's somebody hiding around that corner, spam, find out. Like, that's a pretty big counter for Rekt to play around.
Certainly is. Going to see Chicken get back into the action. You know, that last game, he had a big performance. You know, at the end of the game, a null silence on to Rekt to prevent him from using any of his cooldowns in the last fight, and that's how Hammers Velocity were able to win it. So, you know, to see him throw away first blood like that, it's a little bit upsetting considering this guy basically won Hammers Velocity the game in the previous game.
Yeah, now he's actually on that Lance again. Like, if we get to that positioning, Chicken could actually just, again, be a really big deterrent to a lot of this. So there is a lot of ways to deal with the flicker. It really, I feel like it's going to come down to this early game. Like, Xenotech needs to be aggressive. We need to use that flicker to see if we can get those picks. Right now, he's babysitting in lane, making use of that Iron Guard contract, but every time he hits stealth, it's a free check in a bush. You got some pretty free scouting available, especially early.
Looking to catch T-Tigers out as well. If not catch T-Tigers out, they will steal away his jungle. Xenotech laying down the pressure as T-Tigers did to him in the previous game here. This roster from Hammers Velocity, you know, we've got T-Tigers who was such an aggressive force. On this glaive, he certainly can do the same, but against a Koshka, it does make things a little bit harder.
As I said, there's a lot of factors from both sides to deal with. Xenotech is going to show a little bit of a different build though with his Koshka. He is really going to be looking for that aftershock again.
Yeah, absolutely. Building towards that burst of damage that comes from it as well. Huge poke from Rekt in the lane onto Chicken123, and Araki Zoro is able to do the same to starting all over. This game, starting all over, not able to get a free run in the CS lane, and oh gosh, T-Tigers once more caught out, has to use that afterburn defensively to escape. Thankfully for them, they're laying down damage onto Araki Zoro, yeah they are. Without the flicker makes things hard. In fact, Rekt's caught as well, as Chicken tries to lay down some hurt. Hammers Velocity figuring out that Gankstars Sirius is just playing hella aggressive, are starting to try and set up traps.
Dino's burst just went through the wall right now. Like, he can really just start laying into somebody. He might even actually be able to grab starting over. We don't have a fountain yet from Chicken.
Coming up from behind, he's definitely looking for the kill. There it is, but good afterburn knocks him away. Rekt looking to get onto Chicken here. Chicken able to dodge away from the stun, but Xenotech's going further. He's looking for the kill, not quite able to find it. He is able to get away for now. In fact, T-Tigers wants to chase him through the jungle, stop him from getting this crown, but Yummy Catnip Frenzy, it's available now for the kitty cat. Has to be respectful of that ultimate, and so you will see T-Tigers back away.
All right, yeah, level 6 is a big threat. In fact, he's the only level 6 right now. There it is,
Yeah.
T-Tigers.
There it is, straight onto him. They're going to just try and CC lock him. Oh, the CC for days, and that's an easy kill. Going over to Xenotech, nothing that he could do, just CC after CC. And you're going to have to respect that
Big
damage.
items.
Now jumping onto starting all over, he could just go down as well. In fact, he will. No problems there. The fountain just to make sure. That's a 3rd kill on Gankstars Serious.
The early game aggression. 3 kills, 5 minutes. It's not the bloodthirstiest we've ever seen, but Xeno has really been able to find a lot of these targets. Into a broken myth would be my bet. The big problem with the double shatter glass, we saw this to full effect with T-Tigers last round, is that it really does fall flat. You need to get into the penetration. You need to have a little bit more oomph to it, because he was almost just like pawing at them. No claws. The damage was almost just virtually negated by the time we got to that mid and late game. So Xeno, he's not going to be falling into that trap. He's not overconfident with this one, and he is looking just to go with the burst. And the burst is really, I do feel, the way to go here for Gankstars. They've set themselves up for good early. Now they just need to execute.
1,000 gold lead at the moment here for Gankstars Serious, but this lane is neck and neck.
Well, they found Koshka.
Currently looking for Koshka, yeah, but here comes the rest of Gankstars Series looking to turn this fight back around on Hammer's Velocity, and T-Tigers has taken so much damage. He's going low, and he will lose his life. Hammer's trying to find Rect as a return, but it's just not going to happen. They don't secure that, and now the Yummy Candy Frenzy on to starting all over. It's a double kill, looking for the triple onto Chicken. Will be sniped away by Araki Sora, but an ace nonetheless.
Ace at 6 minutes. We just went up to a kill a minute. That Crystal Sentry is not going to last. Xenotech is picking up farm, and look at Arakizora with the ace buff minions. That's a Sentry, a turret, an ace, and perhaps even more as Gankstars are looking to run away with the game.
This is insane tempo from Gankstars Serious. Coming from that defeat in the previous game, they felt like it should have been theirs, and they certainly came back in spectacular style. Currently just laying down so much pressure onto Hammer's Velocity, and now Mooncloak available for Rhett. We'll have to see if it gets used. There it is, but they don't even need the stealth, they're just going in without it. Xenotech laying down the hurt, but here comes the rest of the team. Arakizora in the front line, starting all over. He's bursted. They're going for T-Tigers as well. He's trying to escape, but Xenotech will not allow it. Xenotech gets away, loses his life actually in the end, but Chicken 123 will go very low. Rat trying to find the kill. In fact, Rat against the wall may just lose his life to the turret, and I think he will. Bit of an issue there. Araki was just playing a little defensively, didn't want to get involved in the action, and now Chicken gonna try and chase him down.
That's twice in 2 games that Rex has set themselves up for fantastic results, and Araki actually just walks away. Now he does have this Treant. Chicken is just keeping tabs on him. There's not really a huge immediate threat that we know of, but of course Araki, he could be feeling pretty hunted right now, so he will eventually get out to safety. But again, the advantages are starting to really add up. Xenotech has gone into armor. He's gone all the way for the tier 3. Bringing this guy down with that metal jacket is going to be rather hard for Gwen and Chicken.
Definitely will be. And you wonder for Hammer's Velocity how they possibly start to get advantages in this game. You know, this Kitty Cat Koshka will start falling off your right, and that's why Xenotech's optimizing to try and build into a bunch of items that will be a little bit more impactful as you hit late game. But this Vox is just going to replace it in damage, and right now Gankstars Serious, they just don't care about anything other than living in the jungle of Hammer's Velocity.
Now you see Gankstars in this Vox, he has to ramp up. We'll see if we can do it.
Yeah, well, it's going to be Chicken caught out here. Gankstars laying down the hurt. It doesn't look like Chicken's going anywhere. In fact, he won't. That's another kill for Xenotech as the Mooncloak gets channeled, but no one wants in. The auto attack, cancelling it. Maybe a misuse there by Rect. It's going to be the Sentry going down, the second life taken. And wow, Hammer's Velocity just can't get anything.
No, they're getting denied pretty heavily. The Sentry down. It's a little bit of a boost here to Gankstars, but Araki not opting into a Sorrow Blade, is looking for his double monocle. Starting all over, did go for the Sorrow Blade early on, which I think is actually the better of the positions here, considering how much more of a back foot and how fleeting these fights are for them, but has now picked up into the second item here as well. Starting all over needs to really kick in sometime soon. Like, that's what happened with the Baron. That's how Gankstars are able to hold on and then take control of the matchup. I'm not entirely confident Gwen's going to be able to kind of perform the same way.
Thankfully for him, he's keeping up in CS. as Araki Zoro has been kind of joining the gank squad that is Gankstars at the moment and marching around the map. So CS-wise, the Gwen is there, but you are right. Gwen, this isn't as much of a hyper carry as Baron is when you hit the late game. In fact, you probably argue that Vox was going to hit harder with the double monocles breaking point build that is being purchased right now for Araki Zoro.
Oh, they're going.
Yeah, they're looking for it once more. This time they won't be able to find anything just yet. Crystal Sentry is going low and goes down.
That's
Wait
it.
for it
He's
used to confirm it. That's it eliminated. 10 minutes. No more Crystal Sentry for Hammer's Velocity.
Well, they just lost a lot of defensive power in that jungle. This is, well, Gankstars basically been living in it anyways. They don't really have the deed anymore. It's just kind of come down to the lane farm. Starting over is the only one keeping up. If you look at just Xenotech by himself, Xeno versus T-Tigers is almost a factor of 2 to 1 when it comes to the farm.
Absolutely. And it's a downhill slope that Hammers are currently sitting on. Not able to find gold from their jungle. It's been stolen away. Only the lane is, useful to them. A Shadow Glass now purchased for Xenotech. This Koshka gonna start hurting even more.
But it's a decision to not go for the broken myth. And I'm not entirely too sure if we're going to get to a point where Xenotech regrets that. But if he doesn't get any kind of penetration and we stock up here, Velocity might be able to outlast.
Yeah, well, it's a Mooncloak to knock them in. Good call to knock back the Tower of Hide, but it doesn't matter. Starting all over is knocked down. Bouncing to try and keep this Gwen alive, but he's losing all his HP, and that's Xenotech diving on in. 2 kills for Gankstars, and Chicken trying his best to run away. Everyone under the turret diving, but there's no way they catch Chickens here. In fact, they're going to take Wrecked for it. And Xenotech goes as well. Woo-wee! He's Wrecked trying to escape, is able to get out in the end. Araki Zoro feeling the pressure of Chicken, but he's not going to be able to stop that turret from falling. And that's another advantage going Gankstars. Chicken doing his best, trying to find Wrecked. Good impale, a couple more auto attacks will find the kill onto this Flicker. There it is. A bit of a consolation prize for Hammers.
Yeah, just a little bit too far forward, but the turret is done. Araki has his offensive core ready to go. He can now actually build into the Aegis, build into that armor, and you know that he's got to be very happy at this point. 114, and now he's coming up 3v1. He's going to start styling immediately.
Yeah, there's nothing that Hammers can do here. In fact, Araki Zoro, they've just turned it around. Wow. I did not expect that to happen. And now they're looking for more. First turret goes over, starting all over, will fall. But Xenotech, double kill. He's all by himself. He's 1v3. And now it's Chicken that he goes to. This is going to be a 1v3 triple kill for Xenotech.
Yeah, if Araki had actually hit his reflex block just a split second earlier, he wouldn't have been knocked back and he wouldn't have actually gone down. He might have actually been able to just get those kills. I mean, Xeno cleaned up, but would have been icing on the cake there for Araki in that newfound power. But not having that reflex go off kind of did put him into that death spot. So, yeah, that's all right. Xenotech was able to clean up. We're now getting that gold miner. Probably going to be the last one here of the game. Could be the first one, at least the first one, if not second. But either way, it's Kraken territory coming up here, Dowsy.
Yeah, absolutely. 1.5 minutes
Oh
left.
my goodness!
And they're just going even more. Nothing that you can do. That's another kill for Xenotech. T-Tiger's down. This kitty cat doesn't stop. He's looking for his 3rd triple kill, and he might just find it. No, once more snagged by Araki Zoro. But it doesn't even matter at this stage. 21 seconds on Chicken, 10 on starting all over as these turrets start falling in the Hammer's base. And Gankstars looking to try and close this one out. That's going to be one taken down, starting all over, looking to put the damage down, but Gwen can't do anything. In fact, they're doing their best, but the Vayne is dying. That's going to be Xenotech dying, but the Vayne goes down as well. A 14-minute victory for Gankstars. Serious.
Gankstars basically just saying, mic drop right there. This is the early game caution that Hammers tried so very hard to bring forth in game number 2. And yeah, a little bit of a misstep. Hammers, you get your win, but Gankstars, again, boom, exit stage as champions right then and there, Dowsy. So they are going to take those 2 points. They're going to move on tomorrow. We'll see them again. We will see Hammers next week, but Gankstars right now, again, they brought the fire, and it's just fantastic to see the team off to a great start.
Yeah, incredible stuff from the Hammers, and as you say, the 2-1 in this series means they do progress to tomorrow's games. For those who are wondering, we've got this new format. It's a single elimination tournament each week. So you get that, finals experience every Sunday. So for Hammers Velocity, they have to go back to the drawing board. Gankstars Sirius, they managed to pull back from what kind of looked like a guaranteed victory in Game 2. Well, it was definitely a guaranteed victory in Game 3. Just stomping all over Hammers Velocity. It kind of feel like they figured out the way that Hammers was playing the game, and they abused all of the weaknesses in their team.
Now, if you have watched Evo 8 there in the past, guys, you will be kind of used to that Championship Sunday role. But the big difference here now into the VG8 is that your points will carry forward. It's not just week to week. You take those points, you finish out Split 1, you will then start with those points in Split 2. So every game counts. If you're down and out on the Saturday, Dowsy, you have lost a tremendous amount of opportunity at point.
Yeah, the winner of each week gets 8. And if you lose without winning a single game on day 1, then it's 0 points in total. So that's a bit of a educational lesson with me and Forecourt. We will be back for the next series of tonight, which I know everyone is looking forward to. But before we get there, it's AJ and the desk to break down this Gankstars Sirius win.
Thank you very much, guys. All right, Gankstars moving forward to day 2. Quite an impressive performance in that next game. They used the Koshka that they just had used against them, made it happen. We saw Koshka banned once in Europe. Maybe this is a pick some teams have been sleeping on.
Yeah, I think I've been sleeping on the Koshka a little bit.